Hey, yo, what's up, beautiful people? Welcome to another episode of Talk 100 Podcast. On this podcast, we spell talk with the one instead of an L because on the podcast, we always keep it 100. All right, let's talk about it. First of all, I was supposed to record before Mother's Day, but some stuff happened. A couple of stuff happened. That's why y'all really haven't been seeing me all weekend really post any reels or shorts on YouTube or videos on Facebook because I had an actually busy weekend, a very busy weekend. At first, I thought I was going to have to work on a couple of days, but thank God that I didn't. And so it was just some other stuff that I got busy with, or I was happy to be busy with that stuff instead of going to work. So sorry for not making the Mother's Day episode like I promised I was. But Mom, we're not hiding next year. We're gonna be on that Mother's Day episode next year for sure. Okay. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to all the moms out there. This is post Mother's Day. We are 2 days after Mother's Day on Tuesday, May 12th. Did you have a good Mother's Day? I did. I hung out with my family, of course. I had my stepdad actually put together a very nice cordial dinner. He made some food. I think he made lasagna. I was cooking like some fried chicken. I made some Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. And we had a couple more stuff, some desserts and everything going along with Mother's Day. It was a sweet, sweet Mother's Day. You got to meet some new people, some new friends. Hopefully they'll be friends for a long time. Some new people that not only friends but get added to the family. A new family that we have met too as well. So it's been a good Mother's Day. It was a nice Mother's Day. Got my wife and card and got some more gifts for her, and then I got her a card from the kids, so that was kind of sweet to see her loving that and seeing that I was able to get our son, he's now shout out to XJ, nonverbal autistic. I got him to write in his mom's card, and she loved that, and he actually spelled the word mom, and it was kind of cool. I had to teach him a little bit how to do it, but after he got it well down pat. And I'm happy for it. But yeah, happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. All the mothers, you don't go unnoticed. Even though it's a couple of days after Mother's Day, that don't matter. Mother's Day is every day. I appreciate my mom every day. I appreciate my wife every day. I appreciate my grandma every day. I appreciate everybody, all the women that's in my life. I appreciate them every day, who is that mother figure to me, who guides me throughout life and who helps go through life with me. I appreciate each and every one of them, and each and every one of y'all who are the mothers out there. I appreciate you guys. Keep doing what y'all doing. Never let anybody tell you you're a bad mom, because you're not. Don't ever feel like you're a bad mom, because I promise you it can be worse. Promise. Okay. But with that being said, happy Mother's Day. Even though we're after Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day to everybody out there. Okay. So as y'all can see, I'm kind of glad I waited till this time to actually record, because I got to see two teams get swept. One being last night, the Lakers getting swept by the Thunder completing that 4-0 sweep behind the hands of SGA and company from OKC. Okay. And then also the 76ers got swept by the hands of Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, and those boys in New York by the New York Knicks. They both got swept. Lakers and 76ers both got swept. The Lakers, even though I'm wearing the Lakers LeBron jersey, I don't care a lot. I do wish it would have been a better. I would say this, for the Lakers to get swept, it was like maybe maybe two games that they were just getting blown out, but the other two, like, it was close and they could have won the game, but just fell short. And OKC got that star power. But for the 76ers, I was so mad about them getting swept only because they beat the Celtics. They beat the Celtics from being down like 3-0, 3-1, coming back and winning that series, and the Celtics losing at home, like I continuously say all the time. And I'm like, okay, so look, I'd say in the beginning of the year, 76ers, if it's your year to win, it's this year. And after they beat us, I said, you know what, they might go on a run, and got swept by the damn Knicks. The Knicks, I won't lie to y'all. Going into before everything happened and unfolded, I had, of course, Detroit being a team that probably going to go in there and can go to the finals. I had the Celtics, of course. I had a couple of other teams that I was just like, okay, you know what, they can make some noise. And I had Knicks probably as my fourth or fifth best team to out of all odds to actually go to the finals and win the title. But after seeing the ass whoopings that the Knicks have been putting on everybody, from blowing out the Hawks in their closeout game by like 50 and to basically blowing out the 76ers the way they blew them out, dude, I have a new favorite. I mean, I still got the OKC Thunder as like the number one favorite because defending champs, and they still look like they're 8-0 in the playoffs already. And so they look like they can be going places. But Thunder, of course, is the unanimous number one, who I think is going to win the title. But the Knicks have jumped from maybe like the beginning of the playoffs now. But at the beginning when I said this, I like they the fourth or fifth best team that I feel like can win the title. They would jumped up to number two. They're damn near in number one. Just the fact of, even though I know the Knicks swept the 76ers and OKC swept the Lakers, I feel like OKC was kind of, they was in, like, the Lakers was in the games. And they didn't struggle with the Lakers, but they had a harder time beating the Lakers and sweeping the Lakers than the Knicks had a harder time sweeping the 76ers. They was beating the shit out of the 76ers each time. And I'm just like, and then they even had a comeback win game. And I'm just like, oh my God, like Jesus Christ. So the Knicks, don't tell my stepdad I said this, but the Knicks are looking at as like one of my low-key favorites to win it all. You know what I'm saying? I had the Spurs, I had the Pistons, I had the Thunder, of course. You know, teams like that. Even the Timberwolves are always sneaky. I had the Rockets actually over the Knicks to possibly go and win the title. And the Knicks have proved me wrong time after time after time after time. And I think the Knicks are a slight favorite. But it's still early. Even though 2 series in the second round are done, but we still got 2 more series to go before we get to the conference championship, and it's still looking tight. And I don't know what to say about that. It's crazy, right? So yeah, Lakers got swept by the Thunder. Congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder, OKC, advancing and going to the Western Conference Finals for a second straight year in a row, and possibly going to the finals for a second straight year in a row. I would like to say this. The Thunder are low key. This is the year for it to start happening. And if they are able to go to the championship and win it, it's going to be we're watching a new villain be formed within our eyes. Now, the Warriors, we was happy for Steph Curry. We was happy for the Warriors when they won their first title. And then when they went the second year and they lost to Bron, that's not when they became the villains, because, you know, they lost to Bron. When they became the villains is when Kevin Durant decided to sign with the Warriors. That's when they became the villains. The Warriors became the villains of the NBA because they got so much star power, and you just know they're going to run through everybody, in which they did. And then another one, which I had with the Warriors one, I didn't really call them being villains early. I just knew once Kevin Durant got there, that's when they was going to start being the villains. But the one that I called early, and I mean early, was the Kansas City Chiefs. And because my wife, shout out to my wife, because she's a Kansas City Chiefs fan. And so for a long time, you know, she watches her Chiefs and everything. And I remember when they drafted Pat Mahomes and all of this going on. But when they lost to the Patriots in the AFC Championship game, that first, you know, that it was Mahomes' second year, and I was just like, ooh, they're going to be nice in the future. And then once they finally got to that Super Bowl and beat the 49ers that first time, I told my wife, I told my friend Lane, who was in Colorado at the time, I said, yo, this team is good, and they're going to be good for a long time, but I'm going to let you know right now, at some point in time, people are going to start hating them because they're going to be so good, and they're going to get there every time. And then we fast forward to, they got to the Super Bowl again, lost to the Buccaneers, but then Super Bowl again. Oh no, they actually lost to the Bengals, and then, but they were still each time they were still going to the AFC Championship games. Like, they have not missed the AFC Championship game until recently, last year. But I'm just like, look, they keep getting to the AFC Championship games, and, you know, they keep going to the Super Bowl. And then by that time that they was getting to their third or fourth Super Bowl, people started to hate them. And I sat there and said, look, they are going to be looked at as the villains, because in reality, people claim they like to see greatness and they love to see winning. People low-key hate winning, as far as they hate seeing other teams win that's not their team. Of course, as a Celtics fan, as a Titans fan, as an Oregon Ducks fan, I wish that those were my teams, the ones that were being the villains or being hated. You know what I'm saying? But we're not. Well, at least the Celtics, you can say semi, but not really. We're not the villains, or we're not hated as much as, the Thunder are about to be, or the Warriors used to be, or, the Titans are definitely not hated like the Chiefs or the Patriots used to be. You know what I'm saying? But even then, that's another good example. Look at the Patriots. The Patriots were so hated for so long because they just kept getting up there and kept winning, If they wasn't in the Super Bowl, they was in the AFC Championship game. And you knew that you had to get past that team in New England to get to the Super Bowl. Same thing that's going right now with the Chiefs. We got to get past the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl. And so looking at it now, the Thunder are becoming the new villain because they keep getting in the lottery. They keep having young players, and they got a good core. They're going to be going to the Western Conference Finals or the Finals for the next 3 to 5 years. That, like I said, people secretly hate winning when it's not their team. Like, they may like, oh, it's cool, I don't care, they win, they're a good team. And you don't give credit really enough because you wish it was your team. I wish it was my team. And so people really do not like winning like they say they do. And people hate dynasties. When dynasties that are not your team are killing and beating everybody and they look like they cannot be stopped, you hate that dynasty because you wish it was your team. And Thunder are becoming the new villains. Right before our eyes. It's going to be crazy. So, that's what I think about the Thunder. Thunder are becoming a new villain in 4K right before our eyes. Even if they play the Wolves or they play the Spurs in the next round and they lose, you looking at it that they are going to bounce back the next year and probably be in the West Conference Finals again, or maybe the Finals. You know what I'm saying? So, it's starting to be time that the new villains are in town, and that's the OKC Thunder. Okay. I can't wait to see what happens in the rest of the playoffs, though. Okay. Now, since the Lakers and 76ers both got swept, what's next for Joel Embiid and what's next for LeBron James? I think, starting with LeBron James, I think he's going to come back another year. Now, is it going to be with the Lakers? I don't know. I would bet for a safe bet for my money, I would say LeBron is coming back to the Lakers. Actually, a safest bet is LeBron is coming back to play basketball. But why not that he just stay with the Lakers? Now I get it. He still has options on what he wants to do. I don't think this is his last year because, dude, you're LeBron James. LeBron MF and James. We're talking about the Kobe's of the world, the MJs of the world, Kevin Garnett's of the world, and tried to be Paul Pierce of the world. You know what I'm saying? Those guys told everybody, hey, this is going to be my last year, this and that, and basically had that, retire tour. And Bron can't leave the league without having a retire tour. He can't. He just can't. That's law at this point. Like, he has to let us know that he's retiring the year before the year started. So that's why I say LeBron is going to come back for another year. Now, is it with the Lakers? I don't know. I don't bet against it. But at the same time, I can see him going somewhere else. You can say, well, go back home to Cleveland and, finish that story there. Or, Golden State, go play with Steph and go have a ball. Go to Houston, go play with KD. Go to San Antonio, play with Wemby. Go have, do all of that. I still say, and I said this a couple episodes ago, but I said LeBron to the Wizards, that would be funny. Especially now what's going on with them winning the lottery. That would be funny for LeBron to go to the Wizards. Play with AD again, play with Trae Young, whoever they draft in DeBonsa, Cameron Boozer, or whatever it is. Still got Alex Sarr there. And then what other way, which would be funny, what other way to not only retire but chase Jordan than to go to the Wizards and play for the Wizards in your final years? And with the star power that they're getting, you can potentially say they can win the title. Now, are they? No. Now, is that going to happen? Is LeBron going to go to the Wizards? No. Now, is it like, even if he went to the Wizards, could they win the title? They could, but do I put them as a favorite? No. But it just would be fun. In my opinion, it would just be funny. Okay, a lot of people are like, "Oh, you're a Wizards fan or this and that." Like, no, I'm not a Wizards fan. By far, not a Wizards fan. I would hate to be a Wizards fan. I just think it would be funny. I just like to see funny shit happen. Especially everybody says the NBA is scripted, so wow, this is the perfect script to end LeBron's career in Washington, possibly with a chip. Never know. But I don't think Bron is leaving LA. That's just my opinion. But I know he's coming back for another year. I know for a fact he's coming back for another year. You can't just leave us like this, and you got us fucked up. And I'm not even a LeBron fan. Yeah, I got the jersey on today, but I'm not a LeBron fan. I just like the jersey. Jersey's cool. I like purple. But yeah, man, that's what I think about Bron. For Joel Embiid, I think Joel Embiid's run in Philly, I think that's over. I don't see a scenario where you bring back Joel Embiid and then try to bring back pieces around and say, okay, we can win with this team. I think that is over. I'm looking at Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe as those are their core pieces, and then you're gonna just basically strip down the roster and rebuild around those two guards. Okay, you probably can get. You're talking about the Bulls in the top four, the Wizards, and all the teams that are in the top four. You're looking at Joel Embiid is trade worthy, like that. He's that type of player that you can. I would trade the number. If I'm the Bulls, I would trade the number 4 overall pick for Joel Embiid. I mean, the Bulls ain't got nothing going anyway, so why not bring in a superstar like Joel Embiid to like help us boost our seedings and get asses and seats and a popularity again? Why not? But I think Embiid's time in Philly is done. I just think so. Embiid has been real good, and he's so good. He's real good. He's still an all-star, superstar in my opinion. And so, but it's just sometimes you need a breath of fresh air. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the relationship that you're in can be toxic, and you need to go find peace within something else or somewhere else. And so I think that everybody, and when I say everybody, from just basketball fans to actually Philly fans, just are tired of seeing the Embiid trust the process shit, and then it's not, the process ain't going nowhere. We're not seeing conference finals. We're not seeing y'all in the finals. At this point, y'all wasting everybody's time, including Tyrese Maxey, including VJ Edgecombe, who are two young players that you can literally go build around. Now, like I said, go get rid of this roster. Get rid of this roster. I know some players you can be able to keep, but get rid of this roster. Trade Embiid to a good suitor that's going to get y'all probably a good draft spot in the draft, and then go draft and then build around those two and whoever you go draft. Embiid time in Philly, I think, is done. What you guys think? Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about that. Okay. But for both the Lakers and the 76ers, I think this is a time to where they both had chances of winning, and this was their chance of possibly being like, okay, they can go to the championship game, or they can go to the finals, right? It was just heartbreak for a lot of Knicks, man. A heartbreak for a lot of 76ers fans, heartbreak for a lot of Laker fans. It's been one crazy hell of a run. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I wouldn't be surprised if Bron is not on LA. I wouldn't be surprised, but I would be hella surprised if Embiid is still with Philly at the start of the season next year. I just would be super surprised. Now, do I fully believe that they should trade Embiid and, like I said, go rebuild just around the two guards? I think that's going to happen, and I will push for it to happen, but I don't fully believe in that. I think Embiid has been nothing short but amazing for Philly, for the fans and everything. Won an MVP for Philly, if I'm not mistaken, the first MVP in Philly since AI. So Allen Iverson. A lot of people like artificial. No, Allen Iverson. And so he's brought the city joy. He's brought the city also pain and heartaches. And so and gasping because he falls too much on the floor. He gets hurt a lot. And so we just looking like, well, at this point we're tired of that. Trust the process. The process is done. At least it's done in Philly, in my opinion. But I still would be super surprised if Embiid is still with Philly for the start of the season next year. It's going to be crazy. All right, so like I said earlier, I still have OKC as my favorites to win it. But who do you think is the real favorite right now? Are the Knicks the favorite after what they've been doing for the past 2 series, especially the past 5 games? Or are OKC still the favorite because of what they've done the past 8 games? They're 8-0 right now. They're undefeated in the playoffs. They have a chance of going at least 12-0 going to the finals before they can lose their first game, potentially their first game. Now, if they play the Spurs, I don't think they are sweeping the Spurs. They have a possibility of sweeping the Wolves. I think they can sweep the Wolves, but I don't think they can sweep the Spurs. So if they see the Spurs in the Western Conference Finals, I don't think it's a sweep, but it's a possibility. And if they do that, they are hands down the favorite by far. But between the Knicks and OKC, who do you claim as the favorite right now to not only go to the finals but win the finals? If I'm the Knicks, I think I'm in a good position because if you play the Cavs, you know how James Harden is. You know how James Harden and that Cavs team is, and I don't think they can hang with the Knicks just like that. And then the Pistons will give the Knicks a better run for their money. But I still think the Knicks can take care of business in 6 or 7 games, though. Yeah, it will take 6 or 7 games to get the Pistons out of here. But for the Cavs, it's going to take 4 or 5 games, in my opinion. But who are the favorites do you think coming out of each conference? But I think it's between the Knicks and OKC. Who is your bigger favorite? Do you got somebody? Do you think the Pistons can actually come out instead of the Knicks? Do you think the Spurs can come out instead of OKC? What you guys think about that? Let me know in the comment section what you got. Who are your favorites to coming out the East and coming out the West? I got the Knicks and OKC. And who's the favorite to win? I still say OKC, but the Knicks would give OKC a nice run for their money. And I would love to see that. That would be a nice-ass matchup for the finals. All right, New York will go crazy. First time in the finals forever, right? They would go crazy. OKC is trying to do a two-peat. That's a good storyline. Great storyline. All right. Sticking with basketball, Washington Wizards. Congratulations to Washington Wizards winning the draft lottery and getting the number 1 overall pick. Did not have that on my bingo card at all. I really did not think that they was going to. I knew they was going to be in the mix for like top 4, top 5, but number 1 overall. Hey, the Washington Wizards are trying to do something special, real special. And so, with Washington Wizards winning that draft lottery and getting number 1 overall pick, who goes number 1? Because I started thinking about it. I was like, okay, so they're gonna pick Cameron Boozer. But then I was like, oh wait, they drafted Alex Sarr not too long ago. You don't want to get rid of him too early. He's still a good player, still a good young player. He's still learning. And then you brought in Anthony Davis, so you really don't need a big like that to pick with the top pick. You brought in Trae Young, so I say at this point I'm looking at probably AJ DeBonsa as being the number 1 overall pick for the Washington Wizards. I don't see how you don't do that. Put AJ DeBonsa, team him up with Trae Young, Alex Sarr, Anthony Davis, and get them pieces, and they should do something with those pieces. I think that would be a good ass team. There's a lot of kids coming into this draft. Young men, not kids. A lot of young men that's coming into this draft that I'm excited about, and I think this is going to be one of the best drafts we had in the past few years. As far as you can possibly say that the top 10 picks are all going to be probably all-star picks. Now, is it going to happen like that? No, of course not. But at the same time, like that's just how I feel about this draft coming up for this year. Just the amount of talent there is, right, to that's coming into the league and like have a chance of being all-stars and playing right away and being all-stars, right? So it's a lot of talent coming into the league, and I'm happy and excited for it. But who goes number 1? I think right now will make sense for me if I'm or will make sense for the Wizards. If it's me and I'm Washington Wizards, I think the only one that makes sense right now is AJ DeBonsa. Get AJ DeBonsa, who has pure raw talent, who is probably the best prospect out of this class, in my opinion. Like Cameron Boozer is NBA body ready, but he still needs some body of work a little bit. But he's NBA ready. He knows the approach for the NBA, how to go into the NBA. I think it's gonna be something great for him. You know what I'm saying? But I think AJ DeBonsa is the purest raw talent when it comes to basketball, and when it comes to who is that number 1 guy that comes in and immediately change your franchise. And I think That's AJ DeBounce. If you put him on the Wizards with that core and you able to say, okay, this is going to be our core moving forward, going on, I'm not mad at it. I'm definitely not mad at it. And so let me know in the comment section, who do you guys think is going to go number 1 overall to the Washington Wizards? It's going to be one hell of a draft process, and I can't wait to see what happens with that. Okay. One team that I say probably they probably regret the trade, but at the same time, I think people are looking too far-fetched into this, right? The Indiana Pacers, in my opinion, the Indiana Pacers tanked for no reason. But you don't want to be good enough to go to the playoffs without Tyrese Halliburton, and without Tyrese Halliburton, you're not going to go anywhere. So don't false advertise your fans, but I think they should have still played what they should have did, played the part, and probably try to go for the, go for that playoff spot. But I get it at the same time. I really do. So I feel like the Pacers did just kind of just tanked for no reason, because the trade they made with the Clippers and then them basically being number 5, I want to say it was, not being a top 4 team, so you can't keep that pick. That pick goes to the Clippers. Now the Clippers are picking 5th, and the Pacers are not even in the top 14. And so it's nuts. It's very nuts that they lost so much and they lost a lot, and then you don't be in the top 4 to keep your pick. You have to trade that pick to the Clippers. It's crazy. But like I said, do they regret the trade? Do you think the Pacers, let me know in the comment section, do you guys think that the Pacers regret that trading for Zubac, and which led the Clippers to be in the number 5 pick instead of the Pacers? I don't think so. I think the Pacers with the Zubac, that's what they needed. After losing Miles Turner, you needed a center. And I think Zubac is an underrated center in my opinion. Zubac is one of the best guys or best centers in the league that when it comes to actually doing your job, he does his job exceptionally well. When he was with the Clippers, he did his job well. He did his job well with the Pacers, but they wasn't really playing for shit. So but with the Clippers, he was doing exceptionally well. He was rebounding when he needed to. He scored you points. It'll be times I look up and I'm looking like, damn, he got 18 and 15, or he got 20 and 21. Like, Jesus Christ, this dude is amazing. I think Zubac is what is going to help put Pacers in that talk again. And so once you get Tyrese Halliburton back, who is a offensive guru, a passer, and a passer first, but also a scorer. And then you get everybody healthy again, and then you got Siakam coming back. That Nembhard is still good. I want to say Nate Smith is still on there if I'm not mistaken. Zubac, Tyrese Halliburton. They got a squad. They got a nice squad going into next year. Pacers are going to be good next year. But do they regret that trade? I don't think so. I think they did the right thing and got the right piece, which is Zubac, to come in and be that guy. Be that guy that they really need. And I think that's just something that needs to be studied and something that needs to be looked at. But at the same time, I get it why certain really Indiana Pacers fans were upset, because why did we tank for nothing? And I get that. But at the same time, trust the process. Just trust the process, and I think the Pacers are going to be good next year. And with everybody being healthy coming back next year, I think they're going to be very great, in my opinion. All right. Over the weekend, we had the start of the the start of the WNBA. All right. Speaking of WWE, before I get into that, let's talk about WWE. WWE Backlash was just this past weekend. I found that to be better than WrestleMania just because of the matches that happened, just because of the storylines we was getting for Backlash, which just seemed more organic and more better. The matches seemed more organic and more better. Everything about Backlash was good, in my opinion. I think so. People complaining about the Dan Houser thing and how they played. Dude, it's WWE. It's entertainment. Of course, it's going to be looking like some clown shit. It's going to be looking like some bullshit. But it's the WWE. It's entertainment. Of course, it's supposed to look like that. It's not supposed to be just all seriousness and like a boxing match, or all seriousness like a UFC fight match. It's supposed to be entertaining, and that's what they do. They entertain. And so I love that the backlash. I'm glad that they backdoored this backlash like this, and like this kind of, it didn't make up fully for WrestleMania, but it made me feel better of where they're going in the direction, right? So let me know in the comment section what you guys grade Backlash. I give it a solid B minus, and it was good. I love the matches that was going on. I love the storytelling during the matches that was going on. Roman versus Jacob Fatu was phenomenal. It was better than what I really expected, in my opinion, and I think that is setting up for something big. But let me know in the comment section what you guys think about WWE Backlash. Now we can talk about the WNBA. Over the weekend, it was starting WNBA. Okay, we started, they started with the Caitlin Clark versus Paige Becker game with Indiana Fever versus the Dallas Wings. Dallas Wings ended up taking that game in Indiana, by the way, and it was a good game. I think we are in for a treat. And then they backdoored that game with the Aces versus the Mercury, a finals rematch. Mercury destroyed the Aces, which is crazy. But the Aces got their rings and everything. And you saw Tom Brady, you saw all those boys, in there and giving out the rings, and the rings look nice. Asia Wilson had all of her rings on, and that girl can hoop her ass off. But they got their ass whooped, I'm not gonna lie. Right. One person I say for sure that caught my attention out of all the rookies. Now, of course, me watching Texas, being in Texas and watching Texas, I'm looking out for Rory Hartman. You know what I'm saying? I'm following the Mystics because of Rory Hartman, and I'm watching her, and I hope she has a good thing going on. Her and Lauren Betts, I hope they have a good thing going, and they go kill it. And I'm cheering for them, for both of them ladies and both of those rookies. But the rookie that I think could win the Rookie of the Year just after one game, did anybody else see Olivia Miles play that first game? She looks fantastic. She was already good in college. We knew how good she was in college, but to translate that from college to pros, and it looked like she didn't miss a beat. I think she's going to be perfectly fine in the WNBA. Not everybody can do that. Go from college and go translate that into the WNBA. One person I think that she hasn't fell off, and she's the reason why a lot of people who started following basketball was Caitlin Clark. I think Caitlin Clark had a slow start to her pro career of looking dominant like she did in college. But, hey, some people can come in and make it look easy. Some people need to, go through some struggles, and then they catch their, they get their feet wet, and now they're ready to take over. You know what I'm saying? So I think Olivia Miles is one of those people who can come in and right away like show off her dominance. And that first game, she showed off her dominance. She has great vision. She has great poise. She knows what to do with the rock at all times. She doesn't panic. And for somebody to be that young and come into the league and be that good and that focused and that in tune, it's scary. I'm scared to see what happens in a few years when Olivia Miles gets more knowledge, gets more weight, and just goes out there and kills it. We can look at 2 or 3 championships. Not now, but looking at 2 or 3, 4 years down the road, she's probably going to be competing for a championship, in my opinion. But I think Olivia Miles can win Rookie of the Year just off of one game. Now, that's overreaction, but I think so, just watching her that one game. Right. Speaking of Caitlin Clark, though, can Caitlin Clark establish her dominance this year? Can she come? This will be her second or third year in the league, and yeah, I think she can come in and just be who she needs to be, which is Caitlin Clark. And I think a lot of injuries messed her up a little bit, and with all the pressure of we saw what you did in college and all the eyes you put on for women's basketball. It's like we are looking for her to be dominant in the game, in the WNBA. But it's not going to be like, it wasn't going to be like that fast. She had to grow into her own. I think she is growing to her own. But with the help of Caitlin Clark, you're looking at Paige Beckers, who looked fantastic versus Caitlin Clark. You're looking at Olivia Miles, like I said, coming in, she looks great, fantastic. Roy Harmon is doing good. Lauren Best is doing good. You know what I'm saying? And then you got girls that's gonna be coming in. Or Flau'jae Johnson has came into this year, but you're looking at like Juju when she gets decided to come to the WNBA. I'm excited to see where the future of WNBA is going because of all the talent that's out there and all the talent that we got, and I think all the talent that's going to be progressing and getting better and going to that next step. I think that is something that we need to start talking about more, right? And that's why women's basketball is starting to get more and more intriguing. More and more intriguing. I wish WNBA would not follow the same schedule as the NBA, but at least fall in the, like, I want them to be playing in the fall and the winter, just like the NBA players. You know? See, like, when growing up and then when you're playing basketball, you know, you go to the games and you see the women first and then you see the males play. You know what I'm saying? I would love to keep that a thing. You know, I know in college, you know, the men and women don't really play the same game or the same days like they would do in high school, but they play the same. Their seasons start the same. I would love to see that for the professionals, like, and it would be cool, man. Like, you know, go to like you got a New York Liberty game on Saturday, and then you can buy tickets for two for one. You buy the tickets for the Liberty on Saturday, you get it. You know, the Knicks ticket. Nah, I don't want to say free, but you know, you get a discount on the Knicks ticket because you went to the Liberty game. And so you get the Liberty game on that Saturday and the Knicks game on that Sunday, and it would be cool. Both of them, you know, all fans going to support everything. Or have it the same day. Have the Liberty game earlier, like at 12, and then have the Knicks game like later at 7, 6 or 7. And then, you know what I'm saying, buy the same day tickets. And that would be cool. Everybody would go support the Liberty, then support the Knicks. I just think that would be so much more cool. But, hey, it is what it is. Sometimes I do love having the WNBA during the summer because there's something to watch. Like, of course, when it's not the Olympics and, you know, anything else that I'm really kind of in tune with. Baseball, I'm in tune with baseball around the 4th of July, but then I really don't watch it unless it's the playoffs. But WNBA catches my attention throughout the whole summer because that's what they do. They play it in the whole summer. So that's the only reason I don't complain. But that's an idea I thought that can happen, is in my opinion. All right. We got NFL. It's coming around the corner. Okay, we already got the rookie mini camp that has happened. This week, I think, it's starting OTAs, and then some more weeks go by, we're going to do training camp. Okay, it's around the corner. NFL training camp and NFL OTAs, everything is around the corner for the NFL. Of course, me being a Titans fan, I have watched videos and I've seen the rookie mini camps and how they're working, and I've seen Cam Ward be there, and I've seen Xavier Restrepo be there, and I've seen all these guys be there, especially all the rookies. And you know, for a lot of people that don't know, when you go to rookie mini camp, of course it's your rookies that you drafted and it's your undrafted rookies that you sign. But you know, a lot of people don't know that it's still second, third year guys that are trying to fight for a roster spot. They come for the rookie mini camps and they got to do their showcase as well. And so seeing all those guys, see like Cam Ward getting work in with Cornell Tate and all the other ones, it's phenomenal to see, and I'm excited and I'm happy for the next season to see what happens. I'm very excited, but football is not around the corner. It's just all the training camps and OTAs are around the corner. So when they start to do all that, it means it's coming. It's starting to come about football being closer and closer to kickoff. And I can't wait for that to happen. Okay. One thing in the NFL that I saw over the weekend, congratulations to Breece Hall. Congratulations to that man getting a 3-year extension with the Jets. Well-deserved money. I think he's one of the ones to where he was on the trade block a little bit, or the trade rumor talks for a little bit, and I think what Kansas City was talking about trying to trade for him, and the Chargers talked about trying to trade for him, possibly. You know, Bronco, everybody tried to trade. Well, really, everybody in the AFC West was trying to, except the Raiders, trying to trade for him. And then, you know, Jets just kind of said no, and now they offered him good, and I think he is a part of what they're trying to build. Russell Wilson signing with the Jets, so that's going to be something to watch. I think he should be the starting quarterback over Geno Smith, in my opinion. But that is what it is. You know what I mean? it's going to be one hell of an NFL season, I think. Of course, injuries are going to happen, and I hate that. I hate that some injury. I hate the ones that were, some guys tear the ACL before the season started, or they do a serious injury before the season started. I hate those injuries, but it's a part of the game. It's a part of life, and it's some bullshit is going to happen like that, right? But yeah, NFL. I can't wait for the NFL to not only start, but for it to get down and dirty. It's going to be a good season this year. I can't wait. Who is your team? Go ahead right now. We are in May, so you got some months. Claim your NFL team right now. Y'all see them behind me. I'm a Tennessee Titans fan. Tighten up. I think we're going to have a decent year. I'm praying for 7 or 8 wins. I just want 7 or 8 wins, and that would make me feel better as far as we're going in the right direction. Now, do I wish for something better? Like, do I wish for 10 wins? Of course. Do I wish for 11 wins? Of course. I want a playoff spot. Of course. But I just want to see certain progress. I just want to slowly progress. Okay. We only were at 3 wins last year. I want to see us and I want to see us win more than 4, more than 5 games. I want to see, like I said, I want to see 7, 8 wins next year. I don't want to just see some bullshit. Right. And so that's just who I got. Claim your team in the comment section. Who is your NFL team? Okay, hashtag tighten up for me. Who is yours? Okay, and I can't wait for the NFL to start, baby. All right, I shouted this guy out one of my episodes before, but I'm going to shout him out again. Shout out to Big Ja. Big Ja has been somebody I've been watching in all his videos and all his skits for the past 10 years now. I've seen this man grow. I've seen this man get better with editing, get better with videos, get better with everything, just life in general. I seen him slim up. I seen him look good. Like, okay, man, hold on, okay, getting slim on me. But shout out to Big Ja, man. Lesbian, homie. Season 5 is out. Well, they doing it episode by episode, unless you bought the whole thing to see it now. Okay, but you know what I like about him releasing season 5, it gives me an excuse to go binge watch seasons 1 through 4, which I am in the middle of doing actually. And dude, the Lesbian homie is it's so good. The storytelling is nice. The way that he just puts genius thoughts together, and the way you can write the scripts, man. I'm a big fan of Big Ja. I've been a fan of Big Ja, but like I'm a huge fan, and I don't know, now he's getting the traction he deserves. And, this Lesbian homie, especially the season 5, is getting so much traction, and so much audience is loving it, and they getting so much love. You know what I'm saying? Like, it took a while, but he got to where he's getting at because of this shit. And I remember the first season, or when they started off as skits. It wasn't even a season. We just started off as skits. And then the skits became successful, so you started making it into seasons. Season 2 happened. Season 3 happened. Season 4 happened. And now we got season 5. That is phenomenal. Shout out to Big Ja, man. That is a dream of mine. I've always had scripts and TV shows or movies or short films that I have wrote myself, and I've had ideas about it. And when I learned how to really write a script, like, I started writing scripts, and I started writing and having ideas for scripts and all this stuff. And so for somebody to see somebody who I admire, and somebody who I look up to, as far as I used to make skits, and what I'm saying, I used to do small videos and stuff, and seeing somebody turn that into an empire the way he has done. Shout out to Big Ja, man. I really do look up to that dude, and I hope one day that I am able to be in one of his skits. I think he's done with the Lesbian Homie. I think season 5 of the Lesbian Homie is the last season. That's what he said. Now, I don't know. People can change their mind. Money might change his mind. I don't know what would happen. Because he might get a lot of more money out of this, that he might just say, you know what, we can do one more season. But hopefully one day I can be in one of his skits, one of his shows, on something that he's doing. Because I admire Big Ja, and I think he's one of the ones that's next when it comes to talking about media, film, and producing, and writing, and creating. Like, he's one of those ones that he has great ideas, that I think his ideas are really good, and they're coming together. Right? So, shout out to Big Ja. Lesbian Homie season 5 is out. Well, a couple episodes, and if you go buy it, you can go watch it. But I'm gonna wait because I'm binge watching 1 through 4, and I'll go and binge watch the hell out of it. And so when 5 at least get halfway out or whatever it is, 5 episodes, I can start watching it. You know what I'm saying? But again, shout out to Big Ja. Super proud of that dude. Been watching him for, like I said, the past 10 years. He's a funny guy, a funny dude. Him and Minx and all the other guys that be with him, they're pretty funny. But Ja's a pretty funny dude, and he seems like a pretty genuine dude as well. So shout out to Big Ja, man. I need to go visit LA, period. Visit California, period. I've never been to California. That's one of my places. So let me know, Big Ja. Let me know something. All right, thank you guys for joining me on another episode of Talking 100 Podcast. All right, and this is post Mother's Day episode. Next episode is gonna be episode 93, baby. Okay, we're getting closer and closer to the 100 episode. I got a surprise for the 100 episode too, so I will tell more about that as the episode is coming to about. But right now I can't spoil it. But yeah, I'm Zay for life, and y'all already know. Until next time, Zay for life is out.